Hello everybody and welcome to Spoiler Warning featuring myself, Tom Colohue. The headlines today are regards Brock Lesnar post-WrestleMania, CM Punk and his scorched earth policy, FTR making enemies, Ronda Rousey's WrestleMania and post-WrestleMania plans, and quite a bit about what matches at WrestleMania Vince McMahon has been directly involved in. So as we start out, please remember we've somehow already got 13 likes. Please remember to hit like, and if you're ready for spoiler warning, give me a hell yeah. Bailey says, hello Tom, 1 week to go, just 1 week till WrestleMania. Sean's here saying, hello Tom too. Super says, what's up? And Scorched Earth, yes, plenty more to come on that one. We've already had, at least on the Twitch side, a renewed subscription from Michael Latina, who is our record setter with 25 months in a row of subscription. Thank you, Michael. Joseph is here, Daz is here, Venom's here, Mick is here, and we have Ross Mendes saying, evening all, interesting Brock news incoming by the looks of it. Turnbuckle Studios says, good day to you sir, and good day to you. Traffic says, what's up Tom? And chat, I'm early this time, thanks as always. Alan says, hey everybody. Eric says, are we going to address the CM Punk controversy today? That was part of my headlines. Spider-Boss is asking me for information about the title of this video. Read the title of this video, you may find that you'll get an answer to your question. Ken says, hi Tom. Raymond says, and this is lovely, life is always a little bit better when Tom Colohue is in it. Thank you, Raymond, that's very nice of you to say. Aled is really intrigued about the CM Punk news. We have some hell yes coming into the chat as well. Plenty of hype because Justin Check is excited for a Colohue party. It also says WrestleVote, I think I cited right, saying Triple H hasn't decided yet on Cody versus Reigns winner. Also reporting he has a year plan. How? Wouldn't you need to know who's winning to make plans? So, WrestleVotes are claiming that Triple H has not decided on a winner between Roman Reigns and Cody. The Wrestling Observer are reporting that there is a year-long plan. Two different people reporting different things. So you haven't quite cited it right, but you did cite the first one right, and I'm happy to see that, mate. We've got a hell yeah from Eric, hell yeah from Ross. Christoph coming in with a hell yeah good evening Tom. Jordan says good evening Tom and the spoiler warning team. Welcome everybody. I'm guessing by spoiler warning team, Jordan, you mean every single person watching right now, because we do work together to try and give you the best possible news show. Venom says Sportskeeda, thank you for sourcing, is reporting there are talks of retiring the Universal title after Mania. Any truth to this, Tom? No. Not at all. I'm guessing what's happened there is that they've taken the report, which I helped with, stating that Triple H isn't a big fan of the championship, and run with it in a very different direction. Peter says smash the like and drops the tables. Welcome, Peter. Sean says, did you see that Kyrie is now a free agent? Will there be interest from WWE? There is likely to be interest from WWE. I have already mentioned many occasions that getting Kyrie over to the WWE is an assignment that has been given to a certain returner of the WWE. Mark, how you doing, mate? Says hi, Tom. Looking forward to a great show. Daz gives us a hell yeah as well. Spider-Boss says, I'm ready for the Mysterio family segment on SmackDown tonight. That should be a fun one. Venom says, excited about Mania. Also super hyped for when we do the Raw watch-along, which will be a week plus from now. Sai says, hi, Tom and all. Happy Friday and happy Mania countdown week. WrestleMania, guys, is 8 days away. Razar says, Kyrie Sane announced she's a free agent. She was asked and she answered. Wants to return to America. Is WWE interested? Again, as I've said, there is one person in the WWE who was given a specific assignment to bring back Kyrie Sane. I've reported it many times. Joseph says, good evening, Tom. Good evening, Joseph. LFUK says, what role do you think Randy could play at WrestleMania? I think he could be there. He's not going to wrestle. I've already reported on this one. If you only just found out about the Randy Orton news, then I suggest you should have subscribed a little bit sooner, because we have the Randy Orton video right here on YouTube that you can check out, which gives a lot more detail than PWInsider's paywall did. Carmelina says, hi Tom. Hello, Carmelina. Spider-Boss says, give me a hell yeah after CM Punk blasted Meltzer. More on that shortly. Thank you, Jordan. Leon Sharinka says, hi Tom, hope you're doing well. Thank you, Leon, and I hope you are as well. I'm doing very well. Carmelina says, I'm interested to see what happened at the KO show. FDR says, hello. Traffic says, 8 days away, let's go. Are you mentally prepared for 4 days of watch-alongs? No, I am not. And I tell you what, I am really starting to load up my week as well. Today we have the spoiler warning as usual and our SmackDown watch party later on. We then have on Saturday the Nick and Tom's Intercontinental Adventure. On Sunday I'm on our local establishment for their show, their brunch as it were, where things go crazy apparently. On Monday we have spoiler warning. On Tuesday I'm on the SCW Steve's Wrestling channel that we can hopefully at 8:30 my time, so it will be 3:30 Eastern time. We'll have aligned back then, so I'll be there for about 2 hours. Then on Wednesday I'm back here for the live recording of Nick and Tom's. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday we have non-stop watch party and spoiler warning, so we're going to be busy. Maybe not mentally prepared. FDR says, how do you do? What's new with Colohue? I like that. What's new with Colohue? I like that. Bennett says, so excited for the Raw watch along. Steve says, do you suppose Bobby Lashley conducts an open challenge, or do you think he injects himself into Brock Lesnar's match? There is no plan for Bobby Lashley to inject himself into Brock Lesnar's match. He could engage himself in an open challenge, but I find it more likely at this point that any potential backup plan would have to be brought in immediately. Christoph says, per PWInsider, thank you for sourcing, Bray is not scheduled for SmackDown tonight. I guess we can now say he's definitely out of the WrestleMania card. After this, it is pure go-home show. So yes, at this point, I think we have to accept we will not be seeing Brock Lesnar. Spider-Boss says, I liked your video about Stone Cold Steve Austin. Thank you, Spider-Boss. I appreciate that. Noob says, hello, Tom. How you doing? Doing very well. Thank you, Noob. Welcome to the show. FDR dropping more tables. Everything is on the table. Spider-Boss says, every time I hear Cody Rhodes, it's like hearing a speech from Marvel's Captain America. He does have that John Cena element about him. Ken says, will the showcase matches be main card or pre-show? Well, as they're showcase matches, they will definitely be main show. Joey says, the Wrestling Observer reported WWE had to reshoot a taped interview because they used the word wrestling. Is Vince banning words again? I personally have not heard anything about that word being banned or anything being reshot. Jordan says, Tom, have you heard the one about worked well on your short video the other day? Thank you, Jordan. That's certainly an intro I'm thinking could become a bit of a trademark, and certainly if we're talking rumours and news, that I feel is a great way to immediately gauge interest and get people talking. Joseph says, Tom, what time will the watch party start for WrestleMania? It's for 2 nights, that's bigger hours. Then I'm done. Formula One after that, 6 in the morning. I will be starting when the pre-shows start. So when the pre-shows start, this show will start as well. Omega says, Tom Colohue, welcome, mate. Raymond says, I'm smelling smoke and apparently Punk burning even more bridges. 2 Super says, Cody's awesome. I love his aftermatch promos. Eric says, FTR, are you leaving or staying? More on that shortly. Sean says, according to Wrestling Observer, Dakota Kai was close to signing with Stardom before returning to WWE, and it was believed Io would have followed her. What made Io and Dakota come back? Also, WON said the reason we haven't seen Cora in a while is because she picked up an undisclosed injury nearly 2 months ago. Did you hear anything about any injury? No, I heard nothing about any injury. And as regards Io Sky, Dave Meltzer was reporting that she'd left the company. She never left the company, so I don't believe he's a reliable source as regards Io Sky or Dakota Kai. Tino says, hey Tom. Hello, Tino's. Spider-Boss says, I'm a bit confused with the Mercedes money news that the Wrestling Observer shared today. Wrestling Observer, as per usual, is a bit all over the place. Ghost says, hello Tom and chat, hope everyone is doing well. Welcome Ghost, nice to see you. Noob says, I heard Kyrie's now a free agent. You did hear that from Kyrie. Marcel says, hi Tom, how are you? Doing very well, thank you Marcel. Joey says, do you think FTR is losing against the Gun Club? That depends on whether they signed a new deal. Sai says, the word wrestling is the first thing you hear on Cody's intro. I don't think it's banned, nor do I. It was after all used in the main event as well. Ken says, will Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn be main event at WrestleMania? That is not the current plan, no. Alyssa says, why is Triple H not sure? Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. He is sure. He knows exactly who's going to win. He knows exactly who's going to win. The report is inaccurate to my knowledge. Venom says, does SmackDown start at midnight tonight or is it 1? Midnight tonight, and then next week it's back to 1 o'clock in the morning. 2 Super says, AJ Lee is so underrated by WWE, it's kind of criminal. She absolutely is not. They do believe she's one of the best that they had, particularly character actors. She did not want to continue with the company. There is no underrated. If someone leaves, they will leave, and that's it. Sean says, Naomi has confirmed she's gone from WWE and trademarked the name Trinity Star. She has applied for a trademark of the name Trinity Star. She has not yet had it confirmed. Christoph says, do you think WWE could have signed Jay White in time, use him as a surprise opponent for Lashley at Mania? If he wants them to, and they want him to, yes. However, That would mean Lashley losing, which there is not a plan to do at this point in time. They are not planning to have a big moment and basically interrupt someone else's momentum. Jordan says, starting to get that WrestleMania feeling now. Looking forward to being part of the community for the watch-alongs. I'm glad to hear that, mate. They are going to be busy shows, I tell you that. Very busy shows. Joey says, Naomi commented on an Instagram story that she's a free agent. Do you think she'll follow Mercedes to New Japan? No, but maybe. Mark is hyped for LA Knight. Spider-Boss says, I see Trinity, Fatu, FKA, Naomi could join Mercedes Money and New Japan. Venom says, I want Volta versus Dom so bad, why won't they do it? Because eternity is a very long time, both of them have long careers planned, and if they do every match you want now, why would you tune in next week? LF says, no Roman mentioned on the SmackDown rundown tonight. Crazy since WrestleMania is a week away, and they are saving it to appear on both of the go-home shows. No Vegeta. I will never. Spider-Boss says, it surprised me to see CM Punk news yesterday. Sean, have they officially announced that match, or are you reading spoilers in my spoiler warning? 2 Super says, if Jay White is going to be there Raw after Mania, he's probably signed already, but I don't know. To my knowledge, there has not yet been a signature of Jay White. He is still actively negotiating. Ken says, any plans for Live after Mania? Yes. Ken Thompson says, Mercedes Money said in a podcast she wants a match with Mickie James, and Mickie James wants a match with her. Christoph says, I'm assuming we may have Bobby squashing LA Knight. Not very exciting. I mean, you wanted LA Knight on the card. It was that or Steve Austin does. Either way, LA Knight ain't winning at WrestleMania. Steve says, have you heard the latest Impact news? Alexander and Mickie James injured, likely relinquishing their titles. Tough break. Impact has not had the luck recently. It really is a shame because they are putting on good shows. Razar says, Cody entering a feud of Imperium. Is this a setup for his first feud post-WrestleMania being Gunter? I have, after all, been talking about that one for a little while. Thank you, Sean, for confirming that. Joey says, Dave Meltzer reported WWE is unhappy with the crowd reaction at the NXT show in the PC. Have you heard anything on this? Not a single thing. Not a single word of anything about that have I had confirmed. 2 Super thinks Omos is winning at WrestleMania. 2 Super is living in a fantasy world. Wrestler fan says, will John Cena be on Raw this Monday? Probably yes. Hogan says a Bobby Lashley open challenge feels like the right call. If it isn't Wyatt, it's easier to pivot. Heck, I'd be fan of it being The Miz, opening the door for a new host on day 2. Eddie Gomez says, hi Tom, is Kyrie WWE bound? As I've said, there is someone who's recently returned to WWE who has a mission to get Kyrie sane. I have reported this several times. Venom says, do you think Indy finally gets called up on Raw after Mania? Maybe. She's exactly the same place she's been for the last few months. Nothing's changed. Eric says, Tom, do you think Sammy and KO win at Mania? Yeah. Spider-Bell says, I hope we get some fight between Rey Mysterio and Dominic tonight. I feel tonight is the night, yes. Vegeta says, I'm certain Jay White is signed wherever he is going already. Venom says, I'm sure Indy did a tease having indie wrestling on her jacket. Do you think that was a hint of a call-up? No, I think that was the words indie wrestling on her jacket. Mark says, I want what versus Mania. Then who do you want to be the most embarrassed by the end of that one? Bailey says, any WrestleMania plans for LA Knight? Lots of rumours, nothing confirmed. And 2 Super says, Kyrie versus Asuka at WrestleMania is a dream match for sure. They are more likely to do Asuka versus Io Sky at this point in time. That match has already been made some promises. Ken Thompson says, will Mark Cardona be going back to WWE? We've heard this rumour for about the last year or so. We are still nowhere near actually happening. Alex says, are you going to be live for the Hall of Fame? Yes, I will. And we can get to our first piece of news. We are 15 minutes in. Please do not forget to hit like as you come in. The easiest ways to ensure that this channel grows and really help me with the growth of it is to hit like, subscribe if you haven't, and make sure you are chatting. Even if you are just chatting amongst yourselves, it makes a big difference to the growth of the channel if you are able to essentially keep the chat going. What there is something called chat rate. At the moment my chat rate is 2. The highest I've ever had is 6. The higher it is, the more YouTube will advertise this show, the more people will get in, the more people can hit like, the more people can chat, and before you know it, we've gained massive momentum and we have 232 people watching again. So please do consider, if you haven't already, having a chat, saying hi, doing whatever you want to do. I may not read it. That's okay. You're still helping. Brock Lesnar. There are numerous rumours spinning and swirling around Brock Lesnar, particularly the idea that he may be leaving the WWE. There was a report that he was saying goodbye to people backstage. To my knowledge, this isn't the case. However, Brock Lesnar is planning his usual post-WrestleMania break. He usually has a break right after WrestleMania, and for the past 8 or 9 years, there have been rumours every WrestleMania that his contract is coming to an end. The WWE leak this particular news every single year, much like Jay White's team would leak the fact that his contract was coming up. Kenny Omega's team would leak the fact that his contract was coming up every single year. It's a way to guarantee that you get more money, and I don't really blame anyone for doing it. Brock Lesnar is planning a return after WrestleMania at some point because there are a number of people he wants to work with. He still would like to have a match versus Gunther. He has specifically requested a match at some point against Gunther, and the WWE are not of a mind to disappoint him. Not of a mind at all to disappoint. Brock Lesnar wants Gunther. Gunther wants Brock Lesnar. The fans want Gunther versus Brock Lesnar. This match is going to happen. Brock Lesnar will return at some point to have this match. What I will say is that right now, the fact that Brock Lesnar is going to be returning is not ending the rumour mill. There are still plenty of rumours around, abounding, stating that Brock Lesnar's doing this, Brock Lesnar's doing that. It will not stop interest from AEW. I am told there is a level of interest from AEW's Tony Khan in Brock Lesnar should Brock Lesnar become available. Tony Khan is essentially looking for a way or a reason to mention that in public to see what happens. Plus, it would mean more money for Brock, which means that Brock wants to do it. So to recap, Brock Lesnar is not planning to go anywhere. Every single year, news that his contract is coming to an end is leaked, and every single year he comes back, admittedly taking a break during the pandemic, but he did return a year later. He still wants a match versus Gunther, and the WWE want to make that happen. However, to my knowledge, there is massive interest from Tony Khan of AEW should Brock Lesnar become available. Still to come, we're talking CM Punk, Ronda Rousey, and Vince McMahon's booking of WrestleMania. How involved has he been? Make sure to stick around, hit like, subscribe if you haven't. At the moment, I have 2,220 subscribers. Every little does help the growth of this channel. Please do consider hitting subscribe if you haven't. Venom says, any news on the AOP, Tom? Still nothing. It seems like the issue at the moment is AOP. The interest is clearly there from the WWE and from Triple H, but right now they are still trying to work out what to do with them should they come in. Raymond says, are you aware of any return plans for Riddle? At this point, no. There have been a few discussions about this, but things have changed drastically as regards Matt Riddle. They are trying to find a way to bring him in. However, he wasn't supposed to be out this long, and now that we're so close to WrestleMania, much like Alexa Bliss, they just have not given him the phone call, so he's sat at home waiting. Ken says, is there any plans for Dana Brooke? Not really. Steve says, any Shinsuke Nakamura news? He's basically been on excursion lately. No, he had a couple of matches not in the WWE, then he came back. It's not an excursion, he's waiting for creative hiatus to end. Two Super says Zack Ryder's not going to WWE. I think he did everything he could. The Internet Championship was his peak, in my opinion. Sean says, did you see Alexa Bliss was on The Masked Singer? Was surprised they were able to use the Alexa Bliss name. What does WWE get from her appearance on the show? So, Alexa Bliss is one of those who has global popularity. She is a crossover star. She is involved in several different areas, which essentially draw attention to the WWE. What the WWE get is the viewership of The Masked Singer looking at Alexa Bliss and being like, oh, well, I suppose I might tune into WWE and see what she's up to. Admittedly, she's not there right now, but they may still tune in, which creates a much higher possibility that she'll be making at least a brief appearance at WrestleMania. The Alexa Bliss name was used because the WWE had signed off on the appearance. She had contacted them saying that she had an opportunity. She'd been contacted with a request for a Masked Singer. She contacted WWE, said, I've been asked to do this. Is it okay? They said, absolutely. Use the name, get as much attention as you can, and good luck. Eddie says, how many percent do you see FTR signing with WWE? I don't do arbitrary percentages. My personal belief is that FTR are most likely to sign with the WWE. That is my personal belief. Christoph says Carrie saying she's open to return to WWE, but at the same time she would love a match with Jamie Hayter or Tony Storm. Everything is on the table. You don't have to be signed to AEW to wrestle AEW stars. Patrick Wendell says, good evening everyone. Hello Wendell, how you doing? Backwards says, I saw a report by PWInsider that Randy Orton is going to be at Mania. Backwards, if you've seen my video as regards Randy Orton, you'll already know everything about Randy Orton, including what PWInsider reported, but it was about a month and a half ago. My video. Eric says, who do you see as a favourite for Money in the Bank? I see the favourite for Money in the Bank being a favourite much closer to the time that Money in the Bank is actually going to happen. Carmelina says, do you know if the Usos will be on tonight? Yes, the Usos will be on tonight. Joey says, do you think they'll do Brock versus Gunter at SummerSlam? I don't know. I just know that the match is something that the WWE want to do. I can't sit here and say when because nobody's told me that. Also, they haven't decided yet. Ken says, who do you think will win King and Queen of the Ring? I've already mentioned my personal picks of Damian Priest and Liv Morgan. Jordan's excited for Gunter versus Brock. That should be a great feud. Spider-Boss says Brock versus Gunter. Big meaty men slapping meat. Aled says, why is Cody facing Ludwig Kaiser tonight? Any particular reason? Exhibition match. An exhibition match which will allow them to plug both the main event match of WrestleMania and the Triple Threat Intercontinental Championship match for WrestleMania. Venom Ciampa has no major stories lined up. I know you ask about this all the time. None of the information's changing. Spider-Boss says, I remember in 2018 it was leaked that Brock supposedly was leaving WWE after WrestleMania 34. Yes, and one of my first big reports was stating that that absolutely is not true. Joey says, could TK even afford Brock's contract? Yes, very easily. Razal says, Variety and PWInsider, which one? Just said Vince McMahon has to reimburse WWE $17.4 million for the investigation that had to be done on him. That was reported about 4 months ago, as I recall. Nothing new there. Ray says, will Goldberg sign with AEW? If they want him and he wants to, yes. Martin says, hey Tom, any FTR news? Yes, there will be some FTR news that is within the CM Punk news. That is our next piece of news. Rocky says, question, when do you think AJ Styles is coming back? After WrestleMania. Ken Thompson says, will Randy Orton return at WrestleMania? I've already created a video on my YouTube stating Randy Orton's return schedule. What I want you to do is once this video ends, or in fact right now, just right click on my name underneath the video, open my actual channel, go to videos, and you'll see the Randy Orton video right there waiting for you to watch. Just watch it, click like, leave a comment to let me know you've done so I know you have, and that'll answer your question. Rocky says, who's Bobby going to face? At the moment, he is still lined up for Bray Wyatt. Nothing has been confirmed as of yet. Christoph says, thanks for the update on Brock, Tom. I now have my next rumour killer. Horsey is here saying, good evening, Tom and all. Hope all good. Everything's pretty good here, Horsey. Hope you're well as well. Mark is very excited for Gunter versus Brock. Rocky says, is Lexi Kaufman related to Andy Kaufman? Not to my knowledge, no. Two Super thinks Finn is going to win King of the Ring. King Devitt could actually have a good ring to it. And Charlotte wins Queen. Charlotte is very unlikely to win Queen of the Ring. She's already a queen. It would be a gimmick infringement of herself. But I do feel I should point out, Charlotte in no way is going to come close to this one. It's a completely moot point, a completely arbitrary title, and has no value to her. Thank you, Vegeta. Joey says, do you think Randy will save Cody from the bloodline at Mania? No. Once again, Joey, go and watch the Randy Orton video. It'll tell you everything you need to know about Randy Orton's comeback. Ken says, will Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have a tag team finisher? Yes. One of them will do their finisher, then the other one will do their finisher. Christoph says, Alexa has thanked the WWE among other people for her participation to The Masked Singer. I'm assuming the company was somehow involved with it. Yes, as I said, she was contacted to appear. She contacted the WWE for permission. They said, go for it. Carly says, evening Tom, had a catch up on your YouTube shorts earlier, haven't been able to watch a few of your lives. Thank you, Carly. The shorts and in fact the TikTok side as well have been doing very well. So for a couple of weeks they really started to lose momentum, and I was in fact losing subscribers on every single one. However, the Shorts feed has now found the audience it's looking for. The TikTok feed has now found the audience it's looking for. And slowly but surely, we're getting closer to a point where the videos are doing well. The video today, for example, got to more than 200 views, which for a short is pretty impressive, and it's building momentum. So thank you very much for catching up. That is something I'm really enjoying, that if you watch 1 or 2 shorts, it'll give you the rest of them over the next few days. So regular viewers will get them every single morning, gaining momentum pretty much constantly. Horsey says, next week, 3-day stream will be amazing, can't wait. Well, Horsey, it's actually 4. We will be doing SmackDown on Friday, WrestleMania Night 1, WrestleMania Night 2, and then Raw on Monday. We will be doing a Raw watch-along as well. Hope to see you there, mate, because God knows it's going to be hectic, and I'm going to struggle at times to stay sane. Alex says, I kind of hope Randy RKO's Cody after the main event of Mania. Once again, Alex, check out the video. It'll tell you that that's not going to happen. Alyssa says, who's built for the next big babyface for the women? Rhea Ripley or Asuka? Both of them are heels. Spider-Boss says, I truly don't get the booking of the NXT women's division. I have not seen it. Peach says, hey Tom, are we still waiting for our invite to wrestle at Mania? My costume is here, is yours. You have no idea how good my costume would be. I would take influence from Seth for logical reasons. But I think I've already mentioned that I do have a dedicated wrestling finisher. I was only very briefly trained in wrestling, and I got to be honest, most of it hasn't stuck. But I did come up with a dedicated finisher, the Rapture, which is an inverted jackhammer. You go face first. Bismo says Gunter versus Brock in one of those slap matches would end with one of them, or both of them, with a concussion. That just sounds fun. If you ever saw the G1 match with Kota Ibushi and Taichi, where they spent 20 minutes just kicking each other, it's brutal. It's somehow still fun. I highly recommend it. Steve says, do you think Ray versus Dom will be the first in a series of matches or one and done? I believe it will be one and done. Ken says, will there be any returns or debuts at WrestleMania? Maybe. Joey says, has Uncle Howdy joined Bray in the Gulag? Pretty much. CCC says, when's Randy Orton coming back? CCC, I tell you what you might want to hear. You'll love this. You'll absolutely love this. There is a video on my channel with a lot of details about Randy Orton's return schedule. It was posted at the beginning of February, and now that everyone's talking about it, I've actually already answered. If you do watch it, pop over, watch it. Remember to hit like, leave a comment, just so I know that you've been watching. Just so I know. It's important to me. Important to me that you leave a comment, just so I know. Ken says, do you watch Masked Singer UK? No, but one of my kids does. Spider-Boss says, since Roxanne Perez is okay, I think she'll be the last woman in the NXT title ladder match to stand and deliver. Alan says, who do you think will be the biggest heel active when Roman takes his break? Bobby Lashley's in a pretty good spot for that at the moment. Bray Wyatt's not necessarily a heel, but I kind of feel he should be. And you still have Logan Paul, after all. Steve says, I'd pop hard if KO and Sami use the au revoir for the La Resistance playbook. They will not be doing so. Noob says, do you think Bianca Belair will have a longer run with the Raw Women's title post-WrestleMania 39, or will see Asuka win the title? Personally, I think Asuka is going to win the title, but the feud will continue. Adam says, what is your opinion on Vince's involvement right now or moving forward? Well, more on that later, because it is our 4th piece of news as regards how involved Vince is so far. Backwards is loving the shorts, says watch them every morning before work. That's the dream right there, and I appreciate you. Venom is very happy with the Raw one, yes, we'll see. Vegeta says Bianca is at a year already. She will be once WrestleMania wraps up. Eric says, do you think we'll get big call-ups for Raw after Mania? Maybe. Jordan says, Tom, us UK fans' sleep pattern will be all over the place next week. I'm going nocturnal. No way around it. I'm going nocturnal. Aled says, did WWE have plans to have Jake Paul appear at WrestleMania? They have spoken to him about it. I suspect we'll be seeing him. Sean says, PWInsider has reported that Roxanne will be at Stand and Deliver. I've been reporting the whole time on Roxanne Perez that there is nothing actually wrong. Spider-Boss says, in the NXT Women's Division, Cora Jade went from second top heel after Mandy to not being on TV for the last few months. That does happen. It's called creative hiatus. Okay, so I'm going to have to wade in on this one because I can see what's happening. I can't stand the guy. Can't stand JD from NY. I think he adds absolutely nothing to wrestling. All he does is insult people, insult wrestlers, and use essentially disaster porn to try and get views. Can't stand him. Cannot stand him. Also, to be fair, he's personally attacked me on several occasions. There is no value to the man if that's what he's willing to do. So I see it. So, no. JD sucks. Brad, that is absolutely not even close to true. JD, much like a Fox News host, will make up whatever the hell suits his narrative, and he lies to you all the time. If you think he's actually speaking the truth, you're probably not really built for an actual honest place like here. I'm honestly a bit surprised. Right. Joey says, do you know if Triple H has started planning the Raw after Mania? Hasn't started, he's finished. Steve says, do you like shows Taskmaster and OQI? Yes, they're fun. Now says, hey Tom, how's your day? What news have you said so far? Missed about the first 25 minutes. We've spoken about Brock Lesnar's plans for after WrestleMania. Sniff says, I can't blame Lesnar if he was thinking of leaving. I mean, really, there is little left for him to achieve. Very true, very true. Lauren, hello, says, hi Tom, is there any news regarding Punk's Instagram post last night? Yes, and I'll be getting to that. That is my next piece of news, just when I've caught up on the chat at the moment. Also says, Tom, hit the Red Bull next week, mate, best way. That's going to kill me. It's going to kill me. Jordan Plays says, Cora Jade deactivated her Twitter account. Do you think everything is okay? Yeah, Twitter's a hellhole. Why does anyone have Twitter? Okay, there's a bit to get through here. Christoph says, your opinion on JD from NY is exactly the same as mine. I've already told him. Callie says, Tom, you need to book some time off work of all the wrestling going ahead soon. I have. I had to. I had no choice. I'm using my annual leave to work. Venom says, only just got back. Don't understand what's going on. Do you mean Jordan Devlin? No. Jordan Play says, Tom, you always say that you don't follow or watch at NXT, but then you said you're on top of the Roxanne Perez thing. Do you follow NXT or not? Genuinely curious. I don't watch it week in or week out. However, when it comes to certain wrestlers, I may be giving a bit of the game away here. When it comes to certain wrestlers, I'm ahead of the curve. The first person to report that Roxanne Perez was going to be the next NXT champion after Mandy Rose, right here. A lot of you will have been here while I was doing so, saying it quite often. And that's far from the end when it comes to it. Here I am again. If there are any investigative journalists here, you may be able to work out why I know certain things that I know. It's in fact not hard to work out once you know where to look. Thank you, Eric, for confirming with a source that Cora is legitimately injured. Joey says, why have the matches on Raw felt rushed lately? Seems like Vince is having a hand in the shows. He is not having a hand in the shows. The shows have felt rushed because at times the shows have been a little bit rushed. There has been a lot of forced rewrites. Alyssa says, is Cody Rhodes winning at WrestleMania? Yes. Steve says, did you see Shaq called out Cody Rhodes in the Big Show on Pat McAfee's show? I wonder if he knows they don't work in the same company anymore. I don't think so. Hey, Lauren, how are you? I am looking forward to next weekend. I really am. WrestleMania should actually be a very good show. 23 Fresh says, do you think NXT will regain its popularity again? Honestly, no. Triple H was the main reason it got as big as it did, and he's no longer involved in it. I thought Edge's promo was okay, Lauren. Bit cheesy. Didn't hate it. Venom says, is there a plan to reunite DIY for a multi-person tag match at SummerSlam? No. There may be by SummerSlam, but right now, no. CCC says, will Randy appear? Well, CCC, as I may have just told you, there is a video on my YouTube from the beginning of February detailing the return schedule of Randy Orton. Lauren, you're asking the same? Did I hear about the Randy Orton rumours? No, because I already reported everything about Randy Orton for free without being behind the PWInsider paywall. The beginning of February, pop onto my YouTube channel, which you're on right now, go to the videos, it's right there. Right there. Spider-Boss says, in the NXT women's division, Cora Jade went from the second top heel to... I've already read that one. Yes, Jade Cargill blasted JD. Alexa Bliss does it all the time. Bailey says, Twitch is now tame compared to YouTube trolls. True. Spider-Boss says, do you see Mandy returning to wrestling, or is she going to keep doing OnlyFans stuff? Forever is a very long time. Adam, I answered that question before you even asked it. You need to move on. Plenty of people in the chat have already told you exactly that. Move on, mate. Jordan Plays, thank you very kindly for that very kind donation. I very much appreciate it. Thank you to you as well. Spider-Boss says, if you could pick any talent from NXT for a call to the main roster, who do you pick? Don't know enough about NXT. It's going to be Roxanne Perez. Spider-Boss says, I think Bayley versus Rhea on Raw was good. Becky get involved took the attention from Rhea in my opinion. The match was alright. Didn't need to happen though. Joey says, which European wrestlers do you want to see in NXT EU? There are plenty of them. Most of them already work for the WWE. Christoph says, have no idea how you know what you know, but apparently have pretty good connections. I try my best. I don't know everything, to be blunt. Venom says, if Breaker gets moved up, Cora Jade will follow soon after, as WWE likes to keep couples together. The actual demands and live shows are less than ever before. They're not so worried about it anymore. Yes, Lauren, I did hear about Alexa Bliss's skin cancer. I'm glad to hear that she got that all sorted out and that she's happy with the results. Lauren is hoping Edge wins at Mania. Can't see it myself. Christoph says Sammy and KO versus FTR would be good. Yes, it would. I know, Adam, but you asked the same question 4 times in a row. What do you think's going to happen? Lauren says, any updates on Roxanne? Only what I've already said, which is what I've been saying since the day after it happened. Roxanne's fine. Alyssa says, do you think new women in yes, more people who are babyfaces are going to get pushed. Don't worry about it. Liv Morgan's going to get her shot. Jordan says, Tom, I genuinely feel there's too much wrestling coming up next weekend. I don't know how I can sit through 4 hours of WrestleMania Saturday, 3 hours of NXT, stand and deliver. Well, I'm just not going to sit through stand and deliver, to be completely honest. I'm going to sleep instead. Yes, WrestleMania Access is still a thing. Eric, I've already handled it. It's not your job to do so. It is my job to do so. I've already done it. You should not be telling people to drop things. Of all people here, you should not be telling people to drop things. Okay? I had to have this exact conversation with you not very long ago. Sniff, Bray is not gone again. That's not something that's happened. Joey, I'm trying to get to the FDR news. I'll be right with you. Venom says, I'm going to try to watch all 4 watch-alongs next week. Also, waking up for stand and deliver at 10 in the morning is going to kill me. Sean says, Mandy did say on oral session she does plan to return to wrestling. What she's done is not burn any bridges, which is clever. Yes, Super, I saw Kenny versus Vikingo. Quite fun. Spider-Boss says, does AEW find their wrestlers for using insults on TV? They find them for using certain language on TV. You can't call someone a C-U-N-T on TV and expect to get away with it. Thank you again, Jordan, for another donation. I don't know why you can't do more than that. That's entirely up to you. I don't know the limits of what's in your account. I don't really know how the Super Chat system works, other than that it pops up and people are giving me Super Chats and I'm like, yay! It's a very nice moment for me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, also, we know Bray is not gone. Bray is still very much in the company. Callie says, do you know why they've done that with Roxanne? No, but I do know it's not real. CM Punk. We're nearly 40 minutes in. We need to be getting on with the news now. Please remember to hit like. We are currently at 50 likes, which is a very good amount of likes, but we have 80 viewers. So if you're able to, please remember to hit that little thumbs up. It makes a massive difference. And also, if you've not yet done so, please remember to hit subscribe. We're on 2,220 and every little does help. Also, we've just broken our record for chat rate up to 10, which is why, if you've noticed, we're seeing more and more people join it because that chat rate has gone up. CM Punk was in fact told directly by Tony Khan to remove his Instagram post for several reasons, the most prominent of which is that it brings the company AEW into disrepute. It is a clause in CM Punk's contract that he is not permitted to do anything which has a potential to bring the company into disrepute. There are several instances which create a problem. Firstly, the attack on Jon Moxley. Secondly, the attack on Chris Jericho. And third, the insinuation that he was told to work injured, that he was not cleared when he actively wrestled. This is part of an ongoing issue which I cannot say more about at this time, but it's one of the main reasons CM Punk is currently trying to get out of his contract and Tony Khan is not permitting him to do so. Tony Khan wants CM Punk to return to AEW. Leaks that are going out to Dave Meltzer are largely from Tony Khan's perspective. CM Punk, to my knowledge, is not particularly interested in a return to AEW. The problem, as much as anything, is that all of the leaders of the locker room in AEW are now firmly on the side of not CM Punk. Names include Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, Chris Jericho, even Bryan Danielson is firmly on the side right now of not CM Punk. This is creating great difficulty as well for fans of CM Punk and supporters of CM Punk. For example, FTR. FTR, particularly Dax Harwood, has been very open and very blunt about the fact that he supports CM Punk, and it is making FTR enemies backstage. It is creating problems, and it is meaning that certain people in AEW do not specifically want to work with FTR. They want to do so for the good of their career. They want to do so for the development of high quality matches. But as regards to CM Punk's situation, a lot of people are very unhappy with CM Punk and now with FTR by extension. This is just coming from the AEW locker room rather than AEW management as regards that. In the WWE, FTR are not necessarily burning bridges, and as I say, in February at Elimination Chamber, Edge and Beth Phoenix were specifically asked to do the Shatter Machine as a hint. Now, I don't know if this potentially meant that Tony Khan offered FTR more money. That may be something that they were asking for. But if it was from WWE side, that certainly is a show of, hey, you come here and we'll give you what you're after. Thank you, Naz. Naz says, by the way, I love the shorts. Watch them like reading the morning paper. Lovely. Absolutely lovely to hear. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Lauren says, are AEW and Punk on bad terms? Yes, terrible terms. Razar says, what happened to Carmella? Got pulled from live events and replaced on Raw with Piper. Hope she's okay after everything she's been through. Honestly, on this one, I have absolutely no idea. Not a clue. Steve Emblem, not a fan of Punk. Not a fan, apparently. Venom says, I don't see this as too much wrestling next week. WWE is my obsession and my life, so the more we get of it, the better, I think. Well, I hope it's not your life, mate. Your life is a bit much. Just a bit much, you know? A bit much. Two Super says, damn, even his day one Danielson, that's effed up. I love CM Punk, but it's hard to see because I want to see my favourite wrestler wrestle, which I think is a very fair request. Spider Boss says, from what CM Punk posted on IG, I understood that Jericho leaked gossip from AEW to Melter. That is CM Punk's opinion. It is not proven fact. Appreciate what you said there, Eric. Joey says, could TK sue CM Punk if he doesn't return to TV? He could try to. That is a breach of contract. Eric did not necessarily think that CM Punk should ever have returned. Venom says, speaking of FDR, do you think they are coming back to WWE? Yes, I personally think they're coming back to WWE. Sniff says, CM Punk's his own biggest fan, nowhere close to how great he and his fans think he is. I mean, he puts on pretty good matches. His promos are fantastic, but personally, I missed him. I wasn't watching when he was big, so I've never really felt it. Thomas Phibbs says, hi Tom, sorry I'm late. No worries, Thomas, welcome to the show. John Play says, I know you referenced your February video, but when Orton returns, does he immediately go back to the RK Bro thing? I sure hope so. Well, Jordan, funny you should ask that, because I know somewhere where you might get information on that, and you will never guess where it might be. It might just be on this here YouTube channel in a video about Randy Orton from early February, which not only details everything that's behind the paywall from yesterday's PWInsider report, but also answers every single question that has been asked about Randy Orton from a month and a half ago. I do think sometimes the regular viewers here could really benefit from consuming as much content on this channel as possible, because I make it for you guys and I do feel it will answer a lot of your questions. More often than not, if you guys are asking a lot of questions about one particular topic, what I do is I go and ask. And I get news and I post it, like I did with the Steve Austin video on Monday, I think it was. Tuesday. On Tuesday, the Steve Austin video on Tuesday. I go, I ask the question, I come back, I answer the question. So the Randy Orton video is a perfect example of that. Bismarck says, Cherry Coke for the win. Absolutely. Not got much left at the moment, but it'll all work out. Thomas is asking if FTR are going to come back to WWE. There's also a video on that, by the way, guys. Did terrible for views. Terrible. I'm now starting to understand why. Horsey said, did you hear Dax say in his podcast a decision has now been made? Yes, I did, Horsey, and honestly, I'm excited to finally get an answer on that one. Lauren says, Naomi AEW bound? Maybe. I suspect personally she'd like to be a free agent a little bit longer. Sai says, maybe worth noting UK clocks go forward tomorrow. Streams will be back to normal time in the US from next week. Yes, they will. Monday, spoiler warning, will be our first stream where it is back to normal spoiler warning schedule. Although we will, in future, have summer times and winter times for the US, not for the UK. 23 Fresh says, how long is Tyre's contract with AEW? Not a clue. Hogan says, what are your thoughts on completely unsubstantiated rumour I saw on 4chan? 4chan, I forgot that was even a thing. And I tell you, I'm excited because that one's definitely happening. Lauren said, I've never been a fan of Punk. Brad said, is Chelsea Green staying forever? No, because nobody lives forever. So, unfortunately not. Venom says, I feel pretty deadly and Creed Brothers are getting called up very soon. Do you think there's much truth to this? To your opinion? I can't really comment on your opinion there. Adam Kieran says, was Nick Khan accurate on CNBC about that Vince will step down after the company is sold? As accurate as one can be when talking about the intentions of another person. He here, Tim. That's where we are now. Tim. What the hell? Spider-Boss says, since Punk's signed of AEW, I told my friends that Punk's run in AEW will not last long. As I said, the very first day they announced it is a flight risk, and here he is flying. Spider-Boss says, Mercedes money news, Bray's return, Roxanne Perez beating Mandy, Cody's return, all thanks to spoiler warning. Thank you, Spider-Boss, I appreciate that. Wiggly says, yo, got back from a karaoke party. And he's immediately talking about Punk. Wiggly, I can't name the remaining Hall of Fame inductees. That's not going to happen. Sean says, with Saraya and Jade getting fined for saying certain things on TV, I'm surprised MJF hasn't been fined for some of the things he said. Who says he hasn't? Just because something doesn't get leaked, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. Sean says, is Roderick Strong on his way out of the company? He hasn't been seen in a while. I personally suspect yes, and we will see the Undisputed Era reunite outside of WWE. Lauren says, no Batista induction yet. PWInsider reported that Dave Batista would be inducted this year. Shortly afterwards, PWInsider reported that Dave Batista would not be inducted this year. Joseph says, do you know if Randy at WrestleMania, what do you think he would do? Well, Joseph, funny you should ask that, because I know a place you can get the answer to that exact question. It's here, on this YouTube channel. Just go to videos and it's right there, the beginning of February. Christoph says, FTR have pledged to leave AEW if they can't beat the Guns. Standard. Lauren says, wants a Melina induction. Says Styles is missed as well. Steve says, any free agent you think could end up in WWE this year that nobody's really talking about? No, but not that nobody's really talking about. There's definitely people who are going to be talking about it. Brad likes AJ Styles. Me too. He's very, very good at the wrestle. One sec, guys. I just need to catch up. There is quite a lot going on right now. Lauren wants a Riddle heel turn. Don't blame you. No, Eric, I don't think Punk should have main evented Mania. I think benefit of hindsight, he shouldn't have been anywhere near it. No, Super. No. Don't you try and control the chat. Don't you try and control the chat. No. Oof. Joey wants a video on Matt Riddle and a potential return date. I don't have any information on that, unfortunately. As I say, it's been pushed back a lot. Ken says, I'll be watching Impact instead of SmackDown. Hope you still turn in for the watch party. You may enjoy it. Lauren says, why do some fans think Orton will be there to retire? Because some fans make a decision before they know what's actually happening. Peter. It's right here. Right here. Lauren says, do you prefer AEW or WWE? Well, I watch WWE regularly. I don't watch AEW regularly. Says it all. Brad, yes, Regal has been back in WWE since the turn of the year. Lauren says, greatest of all time on the mic. All time? I don't know. Too many possibilities. Too many. I like Shawn Michaels. Jordan says, I'm honestly super disappointed you're not going to watch Stand and Deliver. Any chance you reconsider? I'll give you a nice super chat if you do. I'm still planning to watch it. I'm just not planning to watch it live. Horsey says, give Tom's videos a watch. You'll get your answers there. And trust me, well worth a watch. Thank you, Horsey. I appreciate it. But yes, after the live, control yourselves. Lauren says, Asuka heel turn soon. Asuka attacked Bianca from behind on Raw. I don't think we need to wait for a heel turn. Bismo says, Tom, you're saying that actual videos on his channel we can actually get some news we might be interested in. What a great concept. Novel. Nobody saw it coming. Adam, I'm getting there. Lauren says, who do you see switching brands? Plenty of people. Judgment Day is the big one, an obvious one for me. Sniff says, wow, we're really gone into it there. Brad says, what's going with Sonya? Nothing. I don't really know what you're asking there. Thomas says, Worked Wrestling have said that Gunter vs. Butch is planned for tonight's SmackDown. If that is true, then I'm very excited. Worked Wrestling may be saying that, but it's already been announced previously by different sources. I know, Jonathan, US isn't moving clocks anymore. We are. That's why it's going to be summer and winter times. I know that, Eric, but he can always make an appearance. Calm down. No, Nidhi is not going to return to WWE. Steve says, have you heard any news on WWE's move to their new HQ building? PWInsider have been reporting that it's happening over the next few weeks. Leon says, if Jay White comes to WWE, will he have to change his finisher? I reported on that on Friday, spoiler warning, check it out for more. 23 Fresh says, CM misunderstood by many people in the wrestling world? No, most people see him better than he sees himself. Venom says, what do you think the plans are for AJ Styles upon his return? Not a clue. Christoph says, he cracked me up with the Orton video. Still be cool if he'll appear at the end of Mania to congratulate Cody. Mark also asking where to get the Randy news. Right here. Venom says, when is Regal allowed to appear on TV again? Whenever the hell he wants to. WWE would just do it. Joey says, if Jay White joins WWE, have there been discussions of a Bullet Club reunion? Nope, because they do not own the name Bullet Club. FDR says, thoughts on the AEW 4 pillars? They have been the pillars. It makes sense. Razar says, my opinion is FDR stays in AEW because why bring them back to TV, bring them more hype, just say they take their momentum elsewhere, makes no sense. Hogan says, if there were free agents with WWE interests that were being talked about, I feel like it'd be something like a random women's tag team from Impact or Stardom. Jordan says, why would Naomi diss the company's treating her husband well? Doesn't make any sense. She didn't. At no point did she diss the... I don't understand what you're asking there. There's been no diss. Glad you're enjoying it, Jordan. Glad you're enjoying it. Venom says, I wish Tegan would get a push. What a surprise. Joey says, NXT ever going to go back to Full Sail or a new venue? Probably, yes. I don't know what else to say on that one. Probably. Eventually they will. That's the only thing that really makes sense. Ooh, lots of stuff. Wiggly's asking, could Vicky Guerrero be inducted? Yeah. Spider-Boss enjoyed Logan Paul and Seth Rollins this week. Bailey says, how often does the mid-card and lower-card talent wrestle at house shows? A lot of the clips on social media show bigger stars in action. They wrestle pretty much non-stop at house shows, but they don't do the signings and such. Wiggly says, I wish people would stop asking for Owen Hart to be inducted. The reason for that are very clear. Yep, I've been reporting on that one since well before my Sportskeeda days. Wiggly says, was the British Bulldog really that good? Personally, I wasn't the biggest fan. Spider-Boss says, I know someone has to lose in order for others to get over. Well, when is Bailey going to get a proper booking? Depends what you mean by proper booking. Wiggly says, Tom, how do you view Ken Shamrock? Wasted opportunity. Didn't have the right opponents. Owen Hart was a good one. The reason nobody talks about Ahmed Johnson anymore is because he's not currently wrestling in the WWE. Two super right there adding that one. Love it. Love it. Wiggly would love to see Dean Malenko. Spider-Boss says, after all the CM Punk news, I get why the former members of the Shield don't like Punk. None of them. Literally none of them. Wiggly says, final question. I'm going to remember that. If Jericho ever comes back to WWE, would he use the Y2J theme or Judas? Whichever one he wants to. Two Super says, WWE wrestlers work so hard. Can't believe I've seen Rhea at a house show earlier this week and she's wrestling at Mania. They work non-stop, mate. They work non-stop. Ken says, who has the best finisher in WWE? The most recognisable one is a Stone Cold Stunner, after all. Alyssa says, is Cody Rhodes winning? Yes, you've already asked that and I've already told you. Are you not watching the stream? Thank you, Adam. I appreciate that. Venom says, I thought there was an agreement where Tony Khan would only let him out of his contract if he didn't appear on WWE TV. In what way is that legally binding? Told you, WWE just put him out there. Steve says, what are the odds Vicky Guerrero gets involved in the Ray Dom match? Slim to none? Like, why would that happen? Thomas says, do you think we could see a Goldust appearance? Unlikely. He wrestled for someone else. Joey says, do you know if Vincent and Dutch are still joining WWE? I remember they were rumoured to a while back. They were heavily rumoured. I always said it wasn't happening, and here we are. Joey says, who do you feel was the biggest misused wrestlers in WWE? There's been far too many. I'm not going to get into it at this point. We have to get to news eventually. Best wrestler from the UK. Far too many. We have to get to news eventually. Venom says, a lot of people are saying Roman should win because of 1,000 days. It's not up to who should win as regards the fans. It's up to who's booked to win. Castellar believes that Sami Zayn is a WWE underdog. I think there are bigger underdogs. Much bigger underdogs. I think Baron Corbin's a bigger underdog. Okay. Spiderball says, who do you think will induct Rey Mysterio into the Hall of Fame? I don't know. I'm okay with not knowing. I'm okay with waiting. News! Ronda Rousey is going to make it to WrestleMania, at least as regards the most recent checks. She is not currently cleared, but they do believe she will be cleared in time. There are still plans for Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler to become women's tag team champions, but these plans have now been pushed back to Backlash, or at least Backlash at the earliest, because at that point Ronda Rousey will be fully fit and firing, and ultimately they still need matches to take place. Zelina Vega may be involved in that match as well, after all, Puerto Rico. There were rumours abounding that Ronda Rousey was going to be leaving after only 12 months and that WrestleMania would be her last match. This was never the plan. This was never what they were going for. Ronda Rousey will still be in WWE after WrestleMania. She's not leaving yet. And their tag team championship win is still being planned. And I have 6 matches that Vince McMahon has been directly involved in the booking of for WrestleMania. They are the Becky Lynch versus Bayley match. The changes that have been made to that are directly under the description of Vince McMahon trying to get to Becky versus Ronda in some capacity as he was originally planning. Bray versus Brock. Vince McMahon, a huge fan of Bray Wyatt, was very happy to have him back when he came back and has been directly involved in trying to make that match with Brock happen. Brock turned it down. The Fatal 4-Ways that have both been added at the last minute. That's another thing that Vince McMahon's had his hand in, trying to make sure that people are getting a chance on the card. Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair. The return of Vince McMahon heralded a change to the plan, which would have resulted in Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair. A large part of this, as aforementioned, the Becky Lynch and Ronda Rousey situation. The tag team match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Usos for both sets of tag championships was planned by Vince McMahon last year at around this time so that they could build towards it for WrestleMania. It's about a year-long build already. And finally, the Bloodline main event, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns. Vince McMahon decided on that one the day that Cody Rhodes signed on the dotted line. Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon. Those are the matches that he's been involved in. Now, Leon says, will they use the red Hell in a Cell for Edge, Finn, or go back to the classic silver one? The red one is currently the one that they're travelling around. So that will be coming with them to WrestleMania. Vegeta says, Vincent and Dutch were spotted in the NXT crowd, so they're around for sure. If so, what the hell are they doing, and what have they been doing for the past 9 months? 7 months. Don't think you'll get many people enjoying what you've said there, Vegeta. Venom's getting lag. Is anyone else getting lag on the stream at the moment? Anyone else getting lag, particularly YouTube side? Let me know if you're getting any lag there. Meanwhile, I'll catch up. Two Super says, do you think Cody will start the final SmackDown before Mania, or will he end it? I would imagine he will end it. Spiderboss says the women's tag titles will not make it into WrestleMania 39, I guess. They will. They will not be defended. They'll still be on the card because the people who have them having a match. Two Super says the Bloodline was Vince's idea. People tend to forget that when slandering Vince. There's a lot to slander. Let's be fair. There's a lot to slander. And Spiderboss says, Bayley posting I'm sorry on Twitter. I assume she refers to how WWE has treated the women's tag team titles. She does not mean that. No. Thank you everyone for that clarification. Sai saying no lag. Bismo, FDR, Horsey, Justin, Christoph all saying no lag. Vegeta says, I don't know what they're doing. It's probably Bray's fault now. I don't know how you got there, Vegeta. It seems like you're just not a fan. And while not being a fan is okay, blaming everything on one guy is a bit questionable. Bit questionable. Venom says, is it going to be Finn the Demon after what Edge said in promo and Brood Edge? That's certainly what they're leaning towards based on that promo. Joey says, do you think Vince will be involved with producing any of the matches at Mania, or would he only be there in a visiting capacity? He'll definitely be at WrestleMania. You heard it here first, folks. Vince McMahon will be at this year's WrestleMania, but he will not be involved in the production of matches. He wasn't even when he was in charge of creative. Ken says, what is the match you're looking forward to seeing the most? The Intercontinental Championship Triple Threat. Okay, we have been live for an hour. We are live once again in another hour. If you still have questions, save them for one more hour and join us for our SmackDown watch party when we go live. In the meantime, if you haven't hit like, please be sure to do so. Check out that Randy Orton video. Even if you've already watched it, jump in, watch it again, leave a comment, make sure you've hit like. Do me a favour, because everyone's asking questions and the answers are all there. So just check it out. I'd really appreciate it. But in the meantime, as usual, I am wrapping up now, heading into what will be the main event of the night, our SmackDown watch party. I hope to see as many of you there as we can. Thank you very much. You've been fantastic, and I'll see you all very soon.